Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the WSBA here on our Wolverine Studios Twitch channel. We're excited to be back with you this week at our normal time here on Wednesday night. And we've got a very exciting sim coming for you tonight as we finish up the month of March. There's only 4 weeks left in our season, in our regular season, and we've got what's going to be a great finish, I'm sure. Coming down the stretch as we position everybody for the playoffs. I want to welcome in all of our league members who are piling into the channel now, as well as our channel followers, and of course, huge thanks to our subscribers. I always like to give our subs a shout out and encourage you, if you have the ability to do so, even if it's through your Amazon Prime account. You can link that with your Twitch Prime account, and if you do that, you get a free sub every month through Twitch. Which you could use on our channel to support our efforts here, running the WSBA, and of course during development periods, our developer dynasties. So that's the intro for tonight. Let's get down to business. Quick look around the league standings, as always. To start off, we see Chicago leading the East pretty comfortably. Toronto, Washington, Boston, Philly, all jockeying for position there in the top 5 spots, with Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and Atlanta barely holding on to that final playoff spot right now. Out west, OKC, also a comfortable lead over Golden State, with LA, New Orleans, Utah, Portland, Houston, Memphis. Memphis has a little bit of a gap before Minnesota there to hang on to that final playoff spot. Of course, LA, as we saw in our last stream and reminded everybody today, that Josh Gray, their big man, went down. He's probably done for the year. So LA and Boston probably in the same kind of boat here, slowly sliding back in the standings. We'll see. They should be good to hold on to their playoff spots, but we'll see what the positioning ends up for them. We got Brooklyn and Denver in here. Hey guys, how you going? It's going to be an exciting sim, and we started off with Boston and Toronto. Let's see, Miami, that must win if they want to get in that playoff hunt. Washington and Atlanta, that's a big game for both of those teams for different reasons. Denver, Jedi, we'll see if you can upset the Twisters. Here we go. Let's kick off the second half of March. Toronto, no surprise there. Golden State picks up another big win. Miami, Larry Logan trying to get the job done, and there's a loss for Atlanta. Chicago, Denver almost. Couldn't overcome the Shada triple-double, though. So, big start there for Miami as they get the win and Atlanta loses, so that's going to put them right in the playoff hunt now. Lee Taylor dropped 45 for Golden State on Detroit. LA still is able to pick up the win, even without Gray. Yeah, Jedi is rooting for losses. He's rooting for that lottery spot. Let's see what we got here. Boston and Brooklyn. It's an important game for Brooklyn. Another big one for Atlanta as they travel to Philly. Milwaukee and Washington, big game for Washington there. Big game for Memphis, too, hosting New Orleans. Wow, Boston blew out Brooklyn. Brooklyn is no defense still. Philly, James Warren, a 17th triple-double on the season. Hugely impressive. Charlotte with a win. Orlando with a win. Wow, we've got all kinds of crazy things happening. Milwaukee, the Sean Foreman. Houston, wow, surprise over Chicago. Memphis, the losing streak continues. You lost Gray last sim, and you lost him for the rest of the season. As our LA owner checks in there. We had a recap, too, on our social today. That was how big the story was. It was in the WSBA recap on our social outlets today. Memphis took New Orleans to overtime, but couldn't finish the job there. Brooklyn, 143 points given up there. And of course, each of these games is huge now down the stretch, even though the playoffs are mostly, for the most part, the playoff teams are set. The positioning going to be so important. Brooklyn's coaches got a foot and a half out the door already. Lee Taylor, WSBA Player of the Week. When Jeannie gets in here, we'll have to let him know that Lee Taylor got an award here. All right, short slate here. Jedi hoping for a loss to Toronto. Portland, let's see if they can keep rolling as well. They've been playing really well as of late. And there's Jedi's loss to Toronto. Ooh, 69 points for the Waves. No good there. Damian Turner hurt for New Orleans. That's a big loss. We'll have to see how bad that injury. Welcome, CTG in the house. Those guys are doing a great job with their streams. So make sure you check them out on Twitter, and you can find out where they're streaming, when they're streaming. We try to retweet it because they always tag us. If you're playing out there, you're streaming, you're on Twitch or YouTube or whatever, tag us on Twitter, and we'll retweet. We'll try to get you some extra followers out there, some extra eyeballs. Let's see, Damian Turner strained knee. He's going to miss 2 weeks here for New Orleans. That is huge coming down the stretch. And just Turner is averaging 25.2, 6, and 4. He is a stud for them. So that is going to be a rough loss for them. See, Jedi says he keeps losing, but the teams worse than him keep losing. You got to root for those teams to win. You're rooting for your team to lose, and that's working. You got to root for those teams to win too. And by the way, if anybody didn't check out our Twitter today, Jedi did an amazing YouTube video for the season so far, and we tweeted that out this morning. So go find it on our Twitter account and check that out. 8-game slate here on the 19th. Denver, another opportunity to lose to a very good team in Chicago. Boston and Washington, that's a big game. Big game for Miami as well, as they desperately need wins to hang on here. Brooklyn, you should get a win here against Orlando, but we'll see. Yep, there you go. You finally played some defense. 99-108 loss for my Orlando team. LA keeps winning. Chicago getting close to 60 wins. Detroit surprises Milwaukee there. Washington with a big win, important win for them. Brendan Stringer from Brooklyn suffered an injury in last night's game. Looks like he could miss a couple of weeks with a strained knee. I don't know how important Stringer is to Brooklyn. Foreman with 43, Roberts and Sambatashvili 38 and 31. That's a lot of offense out of two guys. Man, OKC is going to be tough to stop. All right, 6 games here on the 20th. Memphis gets the rematch here, the home and home against New Orleans. They desperately need a win. Toronto is rolling right now. Cleveland, Marvin McDonald trying to dig him out of that hole. Portland, there you go, Memphis, finally. Philadelphia squeaks by Minnesota. Memphis finally gets that win they've been looking for. Brendan Chambers, 45 for Portland. I said it last stream. and maybe even the stream before that, watch out for Portland. I think Portland is going to be hugely dangerous in the playoffs. Philadelphia continues. Philadelphia is the oddest team in the league. They play so well against the good teams, and they just are lousy against bad teams. Welcome, Van. Van is here to cheer on his Washington Americans, and we got Don Black here from New York as well. Good to see you guys too. Let's see, checking out Wednesday the 21st. We've got LA and Brooklyn. That'll be an important game for both teams. Denver and Miami, an important game. One way for one team, one for the other. Memphis gets Boston, and Atlanta, struggling for that last playoff spot, has to go to Golden State. Brooklyn on a little win streak here. Portland just rolling. Sean Foreman achieved 2,000 points this season. Denver gets a surprise win there. Washington closing in on 50 wins. Memphis back-to-back wins. Ship is getting righted in Memphis there. Oh, Danny Brum suffered an injury. I saw that pop up. We got to save and check it out. Bravo leader says he can give him the update. Cleveland stinks. We have a lot of guys who think their teams stink. We need to go check out Memphis, see how bad it is. Danny Brum, strained knee, 10 days. Could be worse. So Memphis kind of dodged a bullet there, as long as they can hold on to to the playoff. And Kid Coffee says he's ready for the playoffs, but no. Never mind. Losing Danny Brum is going to be a tough blow over the next 10 days for them. We might as well hit the standings while we're here before we go back to simming. Chicago still comfortably ahead of Toronto. Toronto kind of settling into that second spot. And GM Games Chris, we're just talking about his Toronto squad in the chat now. He says, Woo, new look Wolverine. That's right. We unveiled our new website and our new company logo and branding today across our social platforms, and we'll make a big post about it tomorrow. As we're just trying to get it out there today. So, if you have feedback on our new look and our new stuff, certainly welcome to share it. We're really proud of it, and we worked with a great team called Ad Lava from Las Vegas. They did a great job for us, and they're being an excellent partner for building Wolverine Studios. We've got Chicago, Toronto, Washington. That top three is looking pretty closed off now. Philly's got a lot of ground to make up to get up there. Boston has fallen all the way to 5th. Brooklyn's still an outside chance to catch them if they'd rather play Philly than Washington. And Miami has moved into that last spot. Detroit's not out of it yet, though. So Miami, Atlanta, Detroit all gunning for that last spot. LA and Utah and New Orleans, three-way tie here with Portland, Memphis, and Houston. Memphis has gotten comfortably out of that 8th spot now. Houston and Minnesota maybe with a chance. On the 22nd, we've got Philly and Chicago. That'll be a good matchup. Let's check it out. James Warren, 750 assists on the season, even though it's a losing effort there to Chicago. OKC picks up their 63rd win. Jerry Riggs back on top of the scoring leaderboard. Not surprisingly, he had 37 for Dallas in their win. Atlanta got a key victory there over Sacramento. And Philly's loss pretty much probably cements them in the 4th spot. All right, the 23rd, Portland at Boston. Should have been a good game. I think Portland's probably going to win that one. Philly needs a win desperately. LA, Detroit's been coming on strong. We'll see what they've got. Washington and Milwaukee. That'll be a good one. Rematch for Brooklyn and Orlando. Maybe I can score some points this time. Ooh, Boston with the upset there. Philly, they needed that one desperately. LA, still rolling, even without Gray. Houston, hanging on. There you go, Van. Big win over Milwaukee. And I squeak out a win over Brooklyn. I'll take it, even though I don't need it. I just like to win games, even though it's hurting my lottery spot. I'll take a win, though. I know that's not going to make Brooklyn happy, but I'll take a win. Nate Clark, 38 for New Orleans. John Watkins, 35 from New York. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce Detroit's player who scored 33. Mike Puckett, my point guard, with 16 dimes on the night. All right, we got about a week to go here in the month of March. Chicago looking for win number 60. OKC looking for win 64. OKC at Golden State is the final game of this slate. That could be a possible Western Conference Finals preview. And Kid Coffee's hoping for Puckett to Memphis in the offseason. It could happen. It could happen. May have to tear this thing down this offseason. Brooklyn comes out and scores. Brooklyn's got to score a lot of points to win. That's their game plan. Los Angeles loses to Charlotte. Charlotte's had a couple of surprise wins this stream. Washington, Memphis over Toronto. And OKC goes into Golden State and gets a win. So Memphis feeling pretty good about that one. Frank Johnson with 34 for Memphis. That's a good win for Memphis. Tough loss for Toronto. Shouldn't hurt them too much overall, though. And Brooklyn's already tampering here, trying to get Chicago's lead assistant over there. I love it. I love it. This is a good group here in the stream. We always have a lot of fun here. If you're just new to the stream, new to the league, we do have openings. You can check it out, draftdaysports.com/WSBA. So there are a few openings, and this is a really good bunch of guys in this league. We're having a lot of fun. 7 games here on Sunday the 25th. Portland and Philly. I'm looking forward to that one. That's the best game of this slate here. Sean Foreman, WSBA Player of the Week, as he is single-handedly dragging Milwaukee to the playoffs. Boston over Minnesota. Portland, the win on the road at Philly. Detroit with another win. Orlando with another loss. Jerry Riggs drops 38 on Milwaukee. And Golden State blows out San Antonio. Indy and Sacramento doesn't matter. Foreman and Riggs, what a shootout that was, 39 and 38. But unfortunately for Foreman, the rest of his team only came up with 50 points. That's not going to work. Portland, Chambers 34 and 9. Big game out of him. Chambers is so good that, we didn't talk a lot about him in the first part of the season. He really kind of showed up in the All-Star game a little bit, and ever since then he's just been lights out for Portland. Portland gets Brooklyn here on the 26th. The rematch for Memphis going to Toronto. OKC and Denver. Chicago and Utah. Utah's dead heat there with LA. So important games for both of those teams. And there you go, Brendan Chambers, his 2,000th point of the year. Memphis does it again over Toronto. Memphis has their number. Miami with a big victory. OKC 65. Can they hold off and not get that 10th loss of the season? That'll be fun to watch for. LA, big win for them. And we've got more injuries. We're going to have to check the injury report soon. Aaron Haywood, 51 for Phoenix. I haven't seen his name much this year. Take a quick look at him. He's averaging 22 and 8, so he's putting up points, but 51 is his career best. Larry Logan, 45. Sean Roberts, 44. There's a lot of scoring that night. All right, we will hit a quick save here and check out the injury report really quick before we finish off the month of March, because I've seen a lot of injuries popping up, players going down here at the worst possible time. Let's see, Chicago's got a couple guys on the shelf. Paul Hawkins, a sprained wrist. He's just a role player for them. Matt Ferguson from Cleveland has food poisoning. So, bravo. Your team's had something of everything this year. Food poisoning there for Matt Ferguson. A couple of minor injuries from Dallas. Kwame Reed from Golden State has got a sprained toe. He's going to miss a week. Let's see, Indy. Nobody cares about Indy right now. The hits keep coming for LA. Brian Crane, strained hamstring. Winston Luton, another one of their star players with a bruised calf, but thankfully those are minor injuries. Minnesota's got a couple of guys strained abdominal for Carlos McClain. New Orleans desperately waiting for Damian Turner to come back. Orlando is a walking mash unit. That's all right. I guess I'll just lose more games. Eric Johnson tore his ACL. He is done for almost all of next season as well. Looks like he was a backup player for Phoenix. He is going to miss almost all of next season. And nobody else too bad. Hopper, he's got a concussion. He's got 2 more days. Don't worry, Van. It's only 2 days. And Kid Coffee's saying he plays better without Brum. He doesn't understand. I don't know. Maybe he's bringing him down. You can trade him to me in the off season. Maybe we can work that Puckett deal and send Brum my way. All right, 4 games here on Tuesday the 27th. Philly with an important win for them. Atlanta is struggling for that playoff spot. Golden State with an important win as they probably have locked themselves into the 2nd seed. Lee Taylor with 38. Warren, huge triple-double, 33, 20, and 12. I think he has 18 triple-doubles now. Yep, 18 triple-doubles on the season. Just incredible. 48 double-doubles. I love how much detail this game has. And, of course, I'm the one who made it, so I say that. But it's just fun to be able to click on a guy and, kind of see, see just random things like how many triple-doubles has he had this year. Big slate of games here on the 28th. Toronto and Milwaukee. That should be a fun one. Miami, the chance to get a little bit more room in the playoff race. And they do. They upset Boston. Brooklyn scores enough points to win a game. Dimitrova with his 1,000th rebound of the year for Toronto in their victory. New Orleans over Washington. Memphis keeps on winning now. Memphis is just a streaky team. Migley from Utah 2,000 points. Nashawn Fife from LA, his first triple-double. And Keith Oliver came up on the injury report there. Knowing how important he is to Brooklyn, we'll have to check out Keith Oliver. He played 36 minutes, so maybe... Oh, right at the end of the game must have got a concussion and got knocked out, or played through the game with the concussion. Didn't want to come out. We'll have to find out which one it was. He's going to miss 10 days in the concussion protocol. So that's a rough one for Brooklyn there. But he'll be back in time for the playoffs. Only 3 games here on the 29th. Golden State over Houston. Golden State closing on 60 wins. Portland with a big win. Sacramento over LA. That's a surprise. LA starting to pick up the habit of not showing up against bad teams. Chambers leads the night with 34. Chambers and Cleaver combined for 65 for Portland. All right, 2 games, two dates left here in this sim before we get into the month of April. Philly and Washington, Milwaukee and Toronto, both of those big games. Atlanta, a must-win here against Charlotte. New York, there's a victory for New York. Toronto, convincingly over Milwaukee. Miami loses to Detroit, so it gives Atlanta a chance. And Atlanta takes advantage, beating Charlotte. Hopper with his 2,000th point of the season. Dallas rolls Memphis there. Golden State over San Antonio. Denver upsets Chicago with 30 points from Ross Barrett. We got all kinds of wild things happening down the stretch here. Matt Metcalf with 44 for Brooklyn. So Oliver goes out. Metcalf comes in and scores a ton of points. Watkins, New York's all-star with 43. Dimitrova with 34. 23 boards for Marquise Stevens on the night. And that was a big win, Van, over Philly. Philly is just, I don't know. Cards has done a good job getting that team to where it is, but just go back and forth so much. I don't know what the real Philly is. I guess it all depends on Warren. Final day of this sim. Only 2 games here. OKC and LA. Let's see if OKC can stay under 10 losses. Yep, they do. 67-9 for OKC. And Sacramento beats LA. Alright, so we have hit the end of this one. We'll save it and check out the standings here as we get ready to wrap this up. The playoffs are only 2 weeks away now. The playoffs will begin April 14th, so our next sim will go to April, right to the beginning of the playoffs. So let's take a look. With just a couple of games to go, Chicago is locked in at the top spot of the East. Washington's making a push for that number 2 spot. That's not over yet. Toronto and Washington locked into 2 and 3, but it's not over. Boston and Philly tied for 4 and 5. Brooklyn could still make a push for it. Milwaukee 4 and 6 in their last 10, 4 losses in a row. I thought Milwaukee was safe, but I don't know about that right now. Atlanta is 2.5 back of Milwaukee, 1.5 back of Miami. Detroit and everybody else down there is probably too far, but Atlanta might be able to make a push for it. We'll see. Out west, OKC 67-9. They are the number 1 seed. Golden State's got the 2 seed locked up pretty good. Then we got an interesting grouping here. LA has fallen to 5th in the standings here in the West, which would give them Utah. I'm not sure anybody wants to win the 3rd seed here because you get Portland, and I really like Portland. So I don't know. I think that could be a 6-3 upset there. I don't know if Portland can climb up to the 5th or 4th spot. I don't know if there's enough games left for that, but they're going to be a dangerous 6th. Memphis has pretty much locked themselves in by winning a few games finally at the 7th spot, and Houston hanging on to the 8th spot with a 2.5 game lead there. Minnesota probably not going to have enough to climb out of that hole. San Antonio and everybody else on down out of the race. Charlotte looking good for the worst record in the league, although we do have the modern lottery where the worst team doesn't necessarily have such an advantage as they used to. One more check around the injury list to make sure we didn't have. There's Keith Oliver's concussion. He's still got a week to go. Ostarzy Curry has a broken ankle for Brooklyn. And Britain has that torn MCL. That's been a couple of rough injury sims for Brooklyn. Anything else new? Josh Gray still 50 days out, so probably not going to make it back this season. Van's looking for Washington's. We'll get down there. Don't worry. Oh, I finally got some players healed up. Mike Walker for Philly, a sore calf. We talked about Johnson's torn ACL already. Washington, just a couple of minor injuries, just some guys banged up. Nothing too bad. So nothing really new on the injury front in the last couple days there. That is going to do it for us tonight here as we have reached the end of March. We are at the beginning of April. The playoffs loom right around the corner. Our next sim will bring us to the playoffs next week on Wednesday. So that'll be exciting to look forward to. We'll check out the milestone chasers too. Nobody else in range right now for any sort of milestones. This is only the first season, of course, so that's not to be expected, I guess. So that's it. We had a great turnout tonight. Thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you to our followers, to our subscribers who are supporting the channel, and of course, most importantly, to our league owners who are doing such a good job supporting the league here in the streams. I was happy to see CTG here in our stream pop in. They're doing a great job streaming our games as well. On if you check out, we retweet them when they go live and have new content. So check them out as well, and of course, take a look around at our new website and tell us what you think. Hopefully you like it. And we will be back here next Wednesday for the final sim of the regular season, the first season of the WSBA. So thanks everybody for joining us. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy March Madness, which is getting ready to kick off. If you haven't got your brackets filled out, make sure you do that. And if you haven't bought Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2021, make sure you do that. Go to WolverineStudios.com right now and get yourself all ready for the excitement of March. You can lead your team to championship glory through the tournament while you're sitting there on Friday watching basketball all day long on what is, in my opinion, the greatest day of sports all year long, the first full day of the tournament. I know I will be glued to my TV in my office, watching the games all day long, eating pizza, just hanging out. Probably won't be getting a whole lot of work done on Friday, I have to be honest. All right, thanks, guys. we will sign off for the night now. Thanks everybody for coming out. We'll see you next week, and get ready for March Madness and the WSBA playoffs coming up. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you soon.